Welcome back to Machine Learning class. This is our first session after the new year. I wish everybody had a very good holiday break and wish everyone the best for the new year. Now we're switching to different type of machine learning algorithm, and today we're going to cover topic modeling. We're going to have the conceptual discussion first. In today's session, first we're going to have very brief discussion on the natural language processing and topic modeling and the motivations around them. Secondly, we're going to talk about the intuitions and the basic ideas behind topic modeling. Lastly, we're going to talk a little bit about probabilities and the Bayes rule. So that's the agenda for today. First of all, as I mentioned at the beginning, we're getting to a new area which is called the natural language processing. Natural language processing basically are using computers to process and analyze large amounts of human language data. The motivation is really because as humans, when we speak or write, we produce a lot of data, text data, human language data, and it just well beyond our capability to analyze all these huge amounts of data all manually. So there's a great incentive that is to use computer to understand, to analyze huge amounts of data produced by ourselves. And in this class, we plan to cover two topics associated with natural language processing. First one is topic modeling. The second one is a sentiment analysis. For today, our coverage is on the topic modeling. Well, first of all, what is topic modeling? Basically, topic modeling is to discover the abstract themes or ideas in text data. Basically, if we have some text data in front of us, let's see, a sentence or paragraph or article or even book, if we read through, we may generalize, we may summarize, say, this text data contains certain idea or maybe certain theme, and that kind of discovery of idea or theme is called the topic modeling. And the topic modeling can be at different levels or from different aspects. As I just mentioned, now that is text data can be in different size. It could be very short, one sentence, could be longer, one paragraph, or even longer, an article or whole book. So the size of each text data we are analyzing can be very different. Secondly, the topic modeling and the topics could be also at different granularity level. We may look at things at a very broad level, very high level, such as this piece of document, although this piece of text data is about the sports and the other one is about the food. So we're only comparing two topics, sports versus food. But if we want to dive in deeper, even within the sports, we can see that is we can go down further, maybe break down the general topic into subtopics like basketball versus baseball versus football. As you can imagine, you can go even further, more granular level of topics. So which level of topics we um, kind of stay with is really based on our purpose or based on the information, the text data we're plugging for analysis. So it's all situational. Topic modeling is very useful for many different applications. Now imagine We already have algorithm, topic modeling algorithm, help us to figure out the topics in each individual text data or individual documents. Based on that, we can do other things, such as we can class documents of similar topics together. And if we look at the tweets, the information, the data sent by the text data sent by Twitter users, we probably can apply the algorithm and then discover on certain day what are the main things, main topics that people care about through tweets. Similarly, we can analyze and categorize customers' feedback, see whether customers have certain concerns or certain suggestions on the product or service of a company, such as some people maybe have certain suggestions, comments on the operational side, maybe on the product quality side, or maybe on the delivery time, and so on and so forth. So we can do the topic mining and then summarize and categorize customers' feedback. Similarly, if we have a new product like iPhone, and you look at a lot of people's feedback and also after topic mining, and that's also help us get some ideas of what people like or what people do not like an iPhone or new product. See, if we are in the campaign presidential election cycle and someone maybe want to use the topic modeling technique to analyze all the information discussions in the news, all kind of public sources to identify the major topics or major concerns of candidate or the voters. Those are just a few applications, potential applications of using the topic modeling technique. Again, the motivation behind topic modeling is we want to understand something, we want to understand the themes of ideas about text data produced by humans, but often the body, the size of such text data is huge. We have to use computer algorithms to kind of automate, kind of intelligently figure out the topics, the themes, the ideas behind the huge body of text data that is well beyond humans' capacity to go through one by one. And also, if we combine the outcome from text modeling, topic modeling with other dimensions of data, such as combine the topic modeling's outcome with time, basically we can make a time series data. We can actually have the trends of topics of certain key informations, key ideas, how how they evolve over time. So this kind of trend time series type of analysis. And if we combine topics with geographical location information, we may figure out at a certain time within the United States or across the world what people are talking about, what the people's main concerns by utilizing the topic modeling's outcome with geographic information. And lastly, but not least, the topic mining algorithm was initially developed for text data analysis, but this algorithm can be also extended for other type of analysis, such as genetic data analysis or image data or the social network data analysis. So the usage of topic modeling algorithms have been broadened over time. So now we're moving to the intuition and the basic ideas behind topic mining. So first of all, let's develop some intuition about topic mining. Now, I'm not asking computer to do the job. Actually, we're asking ourselves to name the topic, name the main idea, the theme for each of the following three sentences. Actually, those three sentences are the news headlines that I found just online randomly. And now I'll just give you a few seconds, let you read through each of them, and you may think one word or one idea that can be appropriate to summarize the topic in each news headline. All right, I think you probably will feel this task is pretty easy, right? The first one, you can say, oh, this seems to be something related to the sport. So the topic is sport. And the second one seems to be related to politics. And the third one is related to food. How do we make the conclusion? Well, you can see on this page, I changed the font color and size of particular words. And I probably would think that when you name the topic, name the idea for each news headline, you probably also spend some extra time on those keywords I have highlighted in red, because those keywords give us some clue about the topic in each news headline. And also you notice that for certain keywords such as NFL, baseball, football, I make them not just red, also make the font size larger and also in both face, because those keywords seems seem very strongly suggest the category, the subject, the topic category for the particular news headline. Other ref fonts words, they give us some clue, but those words you probably need additional knowledge to help you to call out the topic. Or some words could in different contexts means different topic. So those kind of rare words, not in the big bold fonts, help us, but they're not kind of as strong as other red words, which is a larger font and a bold face. So probably this is my thinking process. I think, for most of you, you probably have the similar thinking process when we conclude what is the topic for each news headline. So what we do is we read the sentence, we see all the words spelled out explicitly. There's no guess. We know which word is and what they mean if we can read. Next step is we are kind of make some our own judgment call. So by reading the sentence, we can kind of conclude that certain words are keywords because they give us a clue of what the subject, what the topic is. And in my case, I have highlighted them in red. And for some very strong keywords, I even make them bigger and boldface. Similarly, I think mentally in your brain, you also went through the similar process. You identify certain keywords, but this part is a judgment because it's not spelled out. It's your own calculation, it's your own decision. Next, by looking at the certain keywords, then we conclude, okay, this sentence has this many keywords, and these keywords belong to certain topics. And then again, it's a judgment because which topic each sentence represents is not explicitly spelled out, but we can make that call based on our own judgment. Overall, the last two steps, identifying the keywords and then decide what the topic is based on keywords are the judgment call by our brain because our brain has already been trained with prior experiences and knowledge. So really, the last two steps are our own judgment, and because we are trained with certain knowledge and certain experiences, which help us to make the conclusions. All right. Now, if we go to a longer text document like this, it's very often that when the document gets longer, the size is bigger, the document can contain multiple topics. That means is there's a mix of topics in a longer text document. And the following is one example. This is a science paper published in the science the science one of the top the most well-known publication for researchers. So now basically this article is long and we only see the first page, and this article is about using data analysis to determine the number of genes an organism needs to survive in the evolutionary sense. Now, let's see. Honestly, to really understand this article needs specialty. It needs someone who have been trained in the field and knows the subject matter very well. Now, imagine we can find an expert, and we want this expert to help us to highlight keywords which fall into three categories. So the pink keywords are those keywords associated with evolutionary biology, and the yellow keywords are those associated with the genes, and the light blue are the keywords associated with data analysis. If we have the expert go into the article and read things very carefully, and the expert help us to highlight those keywords using different colors corresponding to different categories we have defined here. And then when the job is done, we can see, for instance, the genes, genome, like sequenced, genetic. So all those are keywords associated with the genes, and the pink organism, survive, and again organism, life, and those are keywords associated with evolutionary biology, and the blue computer prediction, numbers, computational, and computer analysis. So those are the words associated with data analysis. Because we were lucky to have an expert do this for us. After all the work is done, all the labeling work is done, we can count the number of instances for each color, means the number of instances that fall into each category. Then we can do a calculation, and also from here, this kind of a chart, if we go doing the exercises to the whole article, for which we only have the first page, and apply that to the whole article, roughly this gives us kind of proportions of three topics based on the keywords which are marked by an expert. So this is just an example. If we do this humans way, we need to get the expert to analyze an article which could be long, and the expert will manually mark the keywords that fall into different categories. Based on that, we can know whether a certain topic is covered in the article or not, and we also know proportionally which topic has more mentioning, has more proportion in the whole article. So this is just an example that is long document can have long documents could have mixed topics. Well, on this page, we kind of leverage humans do the job. We when we talk about machine learning, actually we want the machine to do this, right? In the machine learning algorithm topic modeling, the method that is often used for such a task is called the probabilistic topic models. What it does is it take a huge bunch of documents, which the number of the size, the quantity of information of those documents can be really huge. It can be well beyond people's capacity, maybe thousands, 100,000, millions, and huge quantity of information here. But everything in the document is observable because all the words are spelled out. There's no guess, there's no ambiguity. But we know that the topic mining, the topic modeling, as we seen before, based on the intuition, is really to do the topic models. We need to know like how many topics potentially are there. Let's say there are k potential topics there, and the end goal is really label and allocate the mix, the proportion of topics across the key topics for each of the documents that we're interested in. Like the D is the number of documents and can be huge, can be a huge number. And basically, this is a hidden structure. This is not known to anybody, and we need to use the computer figure it out. Use the computer's probabilistic algorithm to figure it out, and also link to that topic distribution within each document or across the documents. Basically, also there's a hidden structure, which is if the topic is given topic, then actually for each topic, there are certain specific keywords are important. And with this keyword, we can even qualify. See, if the topic is a gene, probably there a 4% chance, 4% probability that the gene will be mentioned in the topic of genes. And DNA will have 2% chance, and genetic will have 1% chance. And if we talk about like nerve neurology, probably there's a 4% chance the brain such a word will be used, will be found in such topic, and neuron will have 2% chance, nerve have 1% chance, so on and so forth. So we also have a hidden structure, the hidden relationship between the probability of having certain word falling into specific topic. So we have a key number of tables like this because we're distributing each document into k potential topics. So both this and this are hidden structure, and the algorithm will figure them out. But those two also you can imagine are tightly linked because those two need to be coherent, must be consistent with each other because you cannot say one document is all about life, but you do not see any keywords on life or on organism. While you see the whole thing in the article is about certain like food or certain vacation thing. So I mean, so basically the idea is whatever distribution of topics across documents and the distribution, the probability of keywords in each topic must be consistent because those two impact and like feed to each other in a way. All right. As a summary, if we use the computer-based probabilistic topic models, we won't need any human annotations like any human labeling or marking of the keywords as we have seen on the previous page. We'll use computer models to figure that out. And the algorithm also to discover the hidden structures as in here, because this hidden structure basically tells you the kind of implicit relationship between words and probabilities falling into certain topic, and eventually what's the topics covered in each document. Really, that's the task of the machine learning based topic models, which figure out the certain hidden structures. Once those hidden structures are figured out, it also answers our question, which is about which document has which topic. And when it has multiple topics in one single document, what are the proportions of different topic in the same document? Again, we're dealing with huge number of documents and a huge quantity of information and a huge quantity of text data. It quite often this can be beyond humans' capacity. That's why we have to rely on certain kind of machine learning algorithm, or more specifically, kind of probabilistic topic models to deal with such kind of task. Well, let's see. Now let's one more step further. Let's see one actual application using such kind of probabilistic topic models to a big number of articles. So we're applying the model, one type of machine learning topic models, which named LDA, to 17,000 articles from the Science Journal, and we set the number of potential topics to 100. So k is equal to 100, 100 potential topics, and the number of documents, number of articles is 17,000. All those articles are from the Science Journal. So we do that analysis, apply the algorithm to the whole data set, to all the 17,000 articles, and we can actually get the topic distribution on each individual 17,000 article in the collection. Now after we do that job, we apply the model specifically to the article Seeing Life's Bare Necessaries, which is just the article we have looked at early on, just this article. So now with that LDA, one type of probabilistic topic model, and it tells us there are the topics in that particular document really is a mix of many different things, and now if we look at the most frequent topics, the four most frequent topics in this particular article is genetics, evolution, disease, and computers, and those are the frequent used words, or maybe kind of in a human intuition kind of keywords associated with, let's say, genetics, and those are the keywords most often used words associated with evolution, and those are the most often used words associated with disease, and those are the ones associated with computers. Basically, if we apply the algorithm, it does not only tell us for certain article, certain document, which is the distribution of topics, and also tell us across all the articles for each given topic, what are the keywords, what are the most frequently used words. Also, if you take a look, you may notice that there are three words new. They actually appear in multiple topics. Actually, I make them different color just on purpose, so you can see this kind of phenomenon. Actually, this is very possible because one word like new is very likely to be used for different topics, because it can be new evolution, new species, and can be new disease, new virus, or can be new computer software, and the new computer hardware. So that's why the same word can be associated with different topics. So this is very, very likely, very, very common. All right, now let's switch gear. Actually, this is the last portion in today's uh, lecture. We're going to talk about probabilities uh, and then Bayes rule, because those things are relevant to the um, probabil- probabilistic topic models. So the first one we're going to talk about is conditional probability. The notation is just like this: P, A, then B, with the vertical bar in between. So what that means is we know the event B already occurred, is already there, is given. Then what's the probability of event A when B is already there, already um, um, kind of for certain? So that's how it means, if B condition is true, what's the probability of A? That's called a conditional probability. So here are a few examples. So this means is, so when the condition is raining, then what's the probability that the ground is wet? And another example, like under the condition the topic is sports, what's the probability of the text data containing the keyword NFL? Hopefully those examples are straightforward and easy to understand. In general, when you flip A and B, like P A under condition B versus P probability B under condition A, those two in general are not equal to each other. They shouldn't. And here, just give you one example. Let's say we know the condition is raining, that for sure. And when it's raining, and we also know that at most time the ground should be wet. And so the probability of a ground is wet given it's raining is very, very, the probability is very high, almost 100%, based on our, intuitions or like life experiences. But if we flip it, let's see, now the condition is the ground is wet, then the probability of raining probably is much lower than 100%, because a wet ground could be due to many other reasons like snowing, watering, or flooding. So that's why when the wet ground is true, it's already realized the probability of raining may be much lower than 100%, because there are many other things could cause a wet ground. So this just to make the point that PA under condition B is not equal to PB under the condition of A. So it's not kind of exchangeable in a way. So that's conditional probability. Next, let's think about joint probability, for which just means A and B, both of them exist at the same time. Both and A, B occur simultaneously. So now if you switch order, A join B or B join A, this actually made a typo. Should be I should switch B and A. The point is, if you switch the order, either A and B or B and A, they are identical. So I made a typo. Sorry about that. But anyway, the point is, both conditions, both events coexist. And so if we have something like this, just means it's not the probability of it's not just raining, but also wet ground. So that's what this probability kind of notation means. And here is joint probability of not only the text data contains NFL and also the topic is sports. Again, this example of joint probability. Now, lastly, there's a product rule, and we can make a linkage between the joint probability and the conditional probability. For this joint probability, we can either use product rule like this one, which is a p probability of b given a, then times the probability of a itself, or equivalently is equal to p of probability of a given b and then times the probability of b. Those two formulas give the same joint probability. That's just how it works based on the product rule. Well, now we get some special cases, right? Think about the special cases. The first special cases is A and B, the two events are independent to each other. Whether the existence of A or B does not influence the existence of the other event. So that's what independent means. Given that, probability of A given B, because A is independent of B, is just equal to probability of A itself. Then furthermore, if we apply the product rule formula here, which is like this, but since this part is just PA, and you can extend and convert the joint probability is simply as a product of probability A times probability B. It also makes sense just intuitively because A and B are two independent events. They do not have influence to each other. Then their joint is just a product of the two. Another special case is A and B are mutually exclusive to each other. In this case, because they are mutually exclusive, whenever B is true, B exists, A cannot exist. So then this conditional probability is always equal to 0. And then if we again apply the product rule, and then because this guy is 0 and just means the joint probability of A and B is always 0, because this also makes sense because we know by definition A and B are mutually exclusive to each other. So those two cannot happen at the same time. So and that's why its joint probability should be 0. All right. Lastly, let's look at the Bayes rule. And based on the previous page, we know the joint probability can be expressed in two forms. The probability of B given A times probability of A, and equivalently the probability of A given B times probability of B. Those two give the same outcome, which is the joint probability of A and B. Now, if we make a little bit operation around this, basically just flip this to denominator, then it becomes this. This rule, this formula is called Bayes rule, and it's really, you can see, is derived from here. Often this portion of the probability, the conditional probability of A given B is called prior, and with that, what the derived called posterior. And this one is just Bayes rule, which is actually derived from the product rule. Now the question is, we are talking about topic mining today. So why do we care about those probabilities? Well, because those probabilities are very relevant. It's the math, involves the math behind the topic modeling. Think about this first, okay? As we talk about this, the topic mining in a way is we want to observe the words in the document, and then we conclude what's the topic in the document, right? It's kind of given certain text, certain text contains the words, and then we need to figure out what's the topic. And then the other side is, when the topic something is given, and also want to know what's the probability of the text containing a certain word. In a way, this is more like um, probability of B or given A, and this is a probability of A given B. And if we plug into this formula, because our ultimate goal is to observe certain words, then figure out what the topic of an article of a document, and this kind of posterior. And what is prior is this, because we make certain assumptions based on certain observations or previous experiences, and that's prior, which is like given certain topic, which words matter, and in a way like given certain topic, which is the probability of containing certain words in the text. So that's the base rule after the joint probability and conditional probability. And yeah, that's all for today. And next time we'll continue the discussion of the concepts associated with topic modeling.